How's it going, you spicy young individuals? Welcome to a new episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm Travis Lang, your host, and today we're talking all about tennis. I have both tennis coaches, Erskine Ratchford and Jacob Rankin, here with me today. We have a lot of stuff to go through, so first we'll start with the women's team. Let's talk first about this 2019 spring season for the women. How'd that go?
The spring 2019 season really went well. I guess we use that as sort of the accumulation of our conference matches leading to the conference tournament, the goal to win the conference tournament and move on to the finals. We were seated third in the conference there. The ladies got to the finals and unfortunately came up a little short in the against Asbury, the team that typically has been sort of the leader of that group. Our goal is to eliminate that, and that's what we're working on for this spring. Some of the highlights of that was it's always a fun match when you can beat Southeast, and the ladies came back from a 2-4 deficit in matches to run the last 3 matches and beat Southeast out in the semis to advance us to the finals. So we're pretty excited about that. All our players performed well, very proud of them all. Thias sort of set the standard for the team. She was Conference Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year. She was on first conference team, and earlier in the fall she had won the RSC individual championships, set new records for singles, wins of 29-3, I believe, and undefeated in conference play, 14-0. So ladies had an outstanding season. We hope to improve on that this year.
And you've gotten the chance to at least get the ball rolling in terms of that. How was the fall 2019? Or I should say, fall 2019 in terms of play this year?
Fall 2019, sort of an increase in the level of play, of trying to improve ourselves, tougher matches. Spring 2019, we had some injuries that kind of, held us back, I feel, a little bit. We've recognized that, so we've been working on conditioning. Jacob's really been pushing the conditioning. It's not just for strength, but we're also, as you condition better, injuries become less prevalent. And we want to be at full power this season, and certainly the fall got us off to a good start there.
So let's talk about this upcoming season. How do you think this upcoming season is going to go for this women's team?
Good, yeah.
I think, all of the work we put in the fall, like you said, we kind of amped up the conditioning, very preventative for injuries, and for not only that, but making us confident in what we're doing. So going into the spring, getting an early start, we're playing in 12 days now up in Chicago. So, I think we're ready, and I think we've got a tough schedule. We're playing some really good teams. We're traveling a decent amount to play a lot of well-known programs. But I think we're going to go out there and prove ourselves and make a name for ourselves. I think Thias kind of started that last spring, and I think now the whole team is going to really set a new standard for IU East women's tennis. And we're excited. We're working hard in practices, very hard.
And this spring will be our first appearance at the USTA National Campus. We've been going to Hilton Head, great place for spring break, but we're going to take that to the next level. We're going to Orlando, Florida to play down there. Got a tough lineup of teams, and like Jacob was talking about, we've got some tough teams, but the goal is to go through the gauntlet so that we're strong when we go into the conference.
Well, in that case, let's meet this 2020 women's team. Let's start first. I keep hearing a lot of talk about Thias Mendez. How has she been so far?
Thias, well, she's just like a juggernaut out there. She's got all the shots, extremely competitive, capable. Again, her record says it all, 29-3. I mean, she's playing #1 singles, and, we've had tough teams she's played against. She's played against, nationally ranked players in the NIA, and she's come off with victories. I think she's even playing better this year. She's got all the shots, and I think she really wants to set a mark this spring.
All right, and now let's talk about freshman Mckenzie Cook. She's one of the only freshmen, if I think the only freshman on the team. How has she been doing so far?
I've really enjoyed working with Mckenzie. In the fall, she came in, and sometimes freshmen, kind of hide in the shadows. She set a standard. She was, a hard worker, always very attentive, willing to learn. I think she's going to make a big difference in the spring for us, and I think, you know, when she gets these more competitive matches, she's going to even be surprised at how talented she is. So I'm really excited to see her, you know, come in and play well for us. But more than that, she's just a great teammate to everyone around her. She's always positive, and just fun to be around.
All right, let's talk about the first sophomore I have on my list, Megan Sasher.
Megan is one of the players on our team. She's been developing her game, loves to play the game. She's always there, very supportive. We're working on building her game up. Again, we're playing strong tournaments, matches and things like that. We're trying to get her into that. You know, she's, again, kind of like all our players, supportive of each other and there for us.
The only other sophomore on the team is Ashlyn Hubbard. How much of an impact has she had on this team?
So Ashlyn, this fall, was a huge piece of what we're doing, or what we were doing. She came up with some huge wins, played at a level that I think even surprised herself. I think back to the Indiana Tech match, which was our last match of the fall, and you know, she came out and beat a very good player and made it look fairly easy. So I'm really excited to see her continue to blossom. I think she's coming into herself as a player. She's a great teammate, always very respectful, very kind to everyone, and just works hard in general as a person too. She's got a lot going on. She's a nursing student, and that's hard to juggle athletics with that. So we appreciate her dedication, and she's a huge piece of what we're doing.
Let's move on now to the juniors. The first person I have on my list is Savannah Hauk.
Yes, Savannah is a player that has a lot of athletic ability, got a great serve. Forehand is like a principal weapon, but she's built her backhand up. She's a very competitive person, very supportive of the team. I look for her to make some marks on the matches there. She can go toe-to-toe with a lot of the heavy hitters. You know, she has that capability. So we look forward not only in singles but in doubles, taking advantage of her capabilities.
And the final junior in that category is Shelby Good.
Yeah, Shelby in the fall struggled with injuries and wasn't able to see her play that much, and has already come out. I've got to be at practice with her 4 or 5 times now, and looks like she was there all fall. She's playing very well, very attentive, moving very well, and going to be, I think, another big piece to the puzzle. She, in the past, has played doubles with Thais Mendez, and they make a great pair. They're good friends, and we're looking forward to them coming back and having some big wins for us.
And speaking of coming back, you have 2 seniors on the team. Let's first talk about Krystal Schmidt.
I've really enjoyed being around Krystal. She's exactly what you want from a senior. She's a great student, works very hard on the court, makes it to everything. Recently just got accepted to PT school, and works hard. The freshmen or the underclassmen look up to her. Just sets a great example of what a teammate and what a hard worker should be. Every time she steps on the court, you know she's going to give everything she has. And that's, as a coach, whether, you know, they win or lose, that's all you can ask for. So we love having her around.
Another senior we have on the team is Bree Ayers. Tell me a little bit about her.
Bree has been one of our stalwarts in our team there. She's brought in some big wins. She's a steady player. She has the capability of being very competitive, never gives up on a point. I think the definitive match for me watching her was when we played Southeast last year in the conference, and she was down in that tournament match against Southeast 6-4, 4-1. Southeast was in that winning position, and she came back to reel off, won the set 6-4, I believe, and then another 6-4, something like that. But she never gave up. She fought hard. She's incredibly steady, hits good shots. Bree brings in a lot of great W's for us. So with that kind of mentality, you know, I feel like she's going to be a very big benefit for us.
And finally, last but not least, tell me a little bit about Morgan Jackson.
Morgan is one of our upper level players there. She has all the shots in the game. She comes from a tennis background. Her forehand, serve, certainly weapons that she uses. She's had some injuries that have kind of caused her to not be able to play at her full level. But this year, she's really been working on conditioning. She's a key part of the upcoming matches. She's going to be playing in those levels, or we're looking for her to bring in some W's there. That's going to help us in our matches. So I'm excited to see, the improvement she's made, how much more conditioned she's ready to go. So I think she wants to go out with, a big splash in her senior year.
Now, you mentioned that Asbury was one of your rivals throughout the seasons, but do you have any other rivals you guys are looking ahead towards?
Well, Southeast certainly is a team that, used to be, I think we had a strong competitive urge, and we still have that, but we've kind of, we kind of like each other a little bit, but we love to beat each other. I mean, we like each other. I don't want to beat you bad, though. So other teams are starting to build their program. I think the River State Conference group each year is getting stronger and tougher. So when this year, I don't see it getting any easier to win. You're going to have good players. You're going to have to play hard. We've got Midway. Brescia's sort of an unknown, but certainly they're working on it. And for the women, Kokomo is also somebody we've got to take very seriously. So we've got a lineup of tough matches, but then the conference is going to be a tough one. And I think we can win that conference. We just got to play solid all the way through.
Sounds like a great team this year. Good luck with that. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk a little bit more about the men's team. So don't go anywhere.
The most rewarding thing for me as a spine surgeon here at Reed is being able to restore a patient's quality of life. For every patient, they may have different goals. For some patients, it would be returning back to hiking, enjoying a game of tennis again, or for some people, it's just cooking a meal. When I know that I can intervene and make an impact in their life, that is the most rewarding and gratifying part of my day.
What if a home phone could also be a smartphone? And what if that home phone could save you money on your home and wireless bill at the same time? With Xfinity Voice, you get amazing technology like readable voicemail on your smartphone, caller ID on your TV, and even text messaging, all for a low price. Start saving with unlimited nationwide talk and text and switch to Xfinity Voice for just $19.99 a month for 12 months. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Almost done.
Now you can pay your bill, manage your appointments, and check your connection status. Anytime, anywhere.
Oh, so you're protesting? Okay.
Introducing Xfinity My Account, available on any device.
Hi, I'm Rick Duncan, and I can't paint.
Hi, I'm Hoover, and I can't sports.
I'm Scott Epic, and I can't cook.
You know what we are great at, besides our music, of course, supporting the community.
That's right, Rick. Whether it's collecting coats, food, or just showing support, we're all in for our community.
And we're proud to call Richmond home. G1013 is a proud supporter of IU East and the Whitewater Valley.
Hello, welcome to the number 9 Grill.
Being a family business means having each other's backs.
Which is why we're happy to have First Bank Richmond as part of our business family.
As people we know and trust, to be there when we need them.
And it doesn't hurt to be right across the street, too.
Welcome back. We just got done talking about the women's team, but now we're going to transition our focus over to the men's. I'm still here with Erskine and Jacob. How did the men do in the spring 2019 season?
In the spring 2019, the men performed very well. Again, we had some injuries that kind of held us back a little bit. But in spite of all that, I've had to think of one word that would describe the team as firepower. We've got some strong players, and they've certainly, even this year, they're even stronger and getting more conditioning. So, but we started back in that last year of trying to play the hard matches to get ourselves geared up for the conference. In the conference tournament, the guys performed well. They lost to Southeast in the semis, but it was a close match. And I guess one of the matches, sort of the definitive match to me, I really enjoyed watching, was Pablo and Manuel at one doubles. They won that one 9-8, and I believe it was 9-7 in the tiebreaker. And Southeast one doubles is tough as nails. They can go with anybody. So very proud of what they've done. They're back this year. I think we certainly are going to be very competitive this year.
So you talked a little bit about that competitiveness. Has that transitioned over to this fall 2019 season?
Yes, we're again putting more conditioning on there, trying to eliminate any injuries, being strong. We've got tough teams we're playing. We've recognized that this is a part of what we need to do so that we're strong in the conference this spring. And the guys are playing well. They're hitting their shots even bigger and better. I'm really looking forward to this spring, after a good performance in the fall.
So let's talk a little bit about that spring. Where do you see this team going throughout this 2020 season?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think just like with the women, I think the way we worked in the fall, I think we took some strides as a team, mentally, physically, and we're coming in ready for the spring. I can see it in the guys, like Coach E said, we have this firepower, and now we just got to know what to do with it, right? We're a very talented team, and we got to know how to kind of harness that power and move it forward. And they're working hard in practices, more motivated than even in the fall. It's with the matches coming up, they're very excited, and I think we have a tough schedule, so we're going to have opportunities to prove ourselves, and our guys are going to have opportunities to stay at the top of their game. So I'm really excited to see what this group can do. I think last spring it sounds like struggled with injuries, and now I think we're very healthy. We're ready, and I think some teams are taking for granted because didn't bring in all that much, so they think just the same team. This is a totally new team, I think, and we're ready for it.
Oh, let's meet this totally new team then. We'll start first with freshman Ian Walton.
Ian Walton is a strong player. He has got, to me, great potential as a player. I've watched him hit with some of our other players, the players that really can hit the ball strongly, and he's able to go right in there with them. Again, he's a freshman. He's developing that consistency and trying to develop, what shot to use under what circumstances and things like that. But big upside to him, and we're really looking forward to the future with him. A lot of firepower from his point of view too.
And this is a pretty small freshman class, just like the women's team. Tell me a little bit about the final freshman, Matthew Nell.
Yeah, so Matthew is joining us this spring. Just got on campus a couple weeks ago. I had the pleasure of recruiting him, bringing him in. We worked together to bring in a solid player. He's from South Africa. The whole time, every time we talked, he's an incredibly nice kid, great student, great tennis player, has already fit in very well with the team, made great friends already, and is working very hard and setting a precedent of how to work and practice. As a freshman, that can be hard to come in and find your place, but he's coming in working as hard as he can. So we're really excited to see what he can do for us this spring.
Let's transition over now to the sophomore class of prospect. The first person on my list is Matthew Reynolds.
Yeah, Matthew is one of our players on the team that is developing his game. We're working with him to build all around. He's competitive. He loves to play. We look forward for him to continue his support of the team, and as he develops his game, we want to work him into matches there.
Now tell me a little bit more about Nick Mustin, another sophomore on the team.
Yeah, Nick is an incredibly hard worker, great teammate. I really enjoy Nick as a person. We actually have some ping pong battles over in the graph a lot. He's a great ping pong player. So he's really fun to be around, always looking for opportunities to step up. Great student and just fun to be around.
The final sophomore in this category is Ian Dillon.
Ian is a player that has pulled out some big wins for us. He, in the last year, has developed his game, taken himself to a new level. He's capable of going with the big guys there and really playing strong. Got all the shots. I guess the thing I like to watch him is return serve. I mean, he doesn't hesitate. He attacks the serve, hits great returns, and he's built himself up physically now. So not only does he have that shot-making capability, but his physical condition is strong, and we look forward to seeing some big W's from him.
Well, we'll move from the big W's of the sophomore class to the junior class. There are 3 in this category. Tell me first about Braden Williams.
Yeah, so Braden is exactly what you want in a player as a coach. He's a great teammate, is generally the first one to show up to practice and one of the last ones to leave. Just loves getting better, incredibly positive, receptive to what you're saying. And, you know, I think in the fall we were able to see him grow a lot. When given a little confidence, his game just got much better very quickly. So he's a big piece to this spring. We're really excited for him to be around and, you know, to step into some big moments for us.
How about junior David Bennett?
Dave, he's got a strong game. Big guy, huge serve. I mean, sometimes you feel like you got to get back against the fence to return those big serves. He's made himself more mobile. Great forehand. He's developed his backhand, working on his volleys. He has a great upside and great potential for us too. And certainly when doubles is played, to have somebody serving with that big a serve, the person at the net, you know, can sometimes just pick them off. It's nice to have somebody behind you hitting that big serve.
And finally, I messed up a little bit. There aren't 3 juniors, but there are 4 seniors. So I realize it's a huge senior class. So first we'll talk a little bit about Francisco Perez. Tell me a little bit about him.
So Francisco is, you know, just a great example of somebody that continues to get better. I think he surprises himself. You know, him and I talked a lot in the fall. He came to tennis a little late in his life. I think he was, you know, normally tennis players start at 5 or 6. It was much later for him. Can't remember the exact age, but he has just gotten better and better, I think, every year that he spends on the court. He was able to win the 4 singles flight in the RSC individual championships in the fall. So we're really excited for him to come in and keep having big wins for us. He is just a great competitor. Finds a way to get into matches, whether he's playing his best or not. He finds a way to compete.
Another person on that list is Max Fondez.
Max is a great guy. I mean, great teammate. He supports everybody. He has got a phenomenal game. I've seen him tough out hard matches. He's playing in that upper tier. There is no easy matches at that level. And big serve, great forehand. He's got all the strokes. He's brought home some big W's for us. He is a key piece of the puzzle for our team. And again, he's so supportive and, you know, has that calmness about him in the midst of all the battles. All the seniors are going to be talking about not only play great singles, they play great doubles. So, you know, I feel very fortunate to have such a great, strong group of players there.
Tell me a little bit about Pablo Munoz.
Yeah, so Pablo, he's such a fun guy to have around. Not only is he an extremely talented tennis player, but he's a good teammate in that he brings, you know, something. You know, he's funny, he's goofy, he likes to make everyone laugh. And in a sport where things can get really serious, I love that about him. Him and I are joking a lot, and he's just a really positive guy. I think he's really excited to see what he can do this spring as a senior. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see him kind of play his best tennis.
And finally, last but not least, let's talk about the final senior in the category, Manuel Roman.
Manuel typically will play one for us. He is such a competitive player. Got a lot of firepower and fire within him. He wants to win. He walks out on the court. Got huge shots, big serve. His forehand just rips the forehand. But again, all the other shots there, he's gone toe-to-toe with the best, and he's played other positions, but he plays principally one. Again, with the players we have in that top group, we're almost interchangeable in some respects. But he not only is that great player, that plays so well, but academically he's very focused. He's working with other groups at IU East. Just everything you'd want in a student athlete, as all our players are. I think that's what makes me so excited. Not only were we dealing with their athletics, but in terms of just being a great student, they all are, and I'm very proud of them.
Well, finally, with all of that pride and such a great team that's been set up, do you have any rivals you guys are looking forward to in this men's season?
The usual suspects.
Yeah, absolutely. Asbury, I think they've won it three years in a row now, the conference. And I know Joe Upke down at Southeast very well, and I know he's working hard to change that, and so are we. I think we've got, and Midway's working really hard as well. So I think the conference is going to be extremely exciting and competitive, and just because one team beats another in the regular season doesn't mean that's going to happen in the conference. So it's going to be really exciting to see those matches, especially against Asbury and IU Southeast. We're very excited for that.
And then just one other related item, as we talked about student athletes, both our men's and women's team have been outstanding. The men's team certainly in the 3-0 region there. The women's team holds the record at 3.65 team average. That's quite remarkable. I don't know if that's ever going to be beaten. But the challenge, we've told them, see if you can get it up a little bit more there. And not only, again, great players, but great students. And I think their futures are going to be super. I feel like they can be anything they want to be.
Well, congratulations. Good luck on this upcoming season. Hopefully it goes really well, and all those players with firepower can really shine. But with that, that'll conclude it for this episode of Inside IUE Sports, and we'll see you in the next episode.